musically, he was still doing it, and yeah. And you know, it's really funny, I think, too, when I was a kid, Johnny Smith, you know that name?
Johnny Smith?
Yeah, he's a great guitar player.
Guitar, yeah.
A real guitar. That guy was a great guitar player. The liner notes made it sound like he just, you know, these people write this. And for a kid, I was just going, wow, this guy just came out of nowhere and did this, you know. And I'm sitting there working my butt off trying to, you know, play anything, you know. And this guy just kind of does it. That's the way the liner notes read, you know.
Right,
Well, I mean, that wasn't the case at all. Yeah, I met Johnny Smith and the guys who knew him, you know, when I first came to New York and played on those sessions and stuff. He played first violin with the Fireside Theater Orchestra. He played first chair trumpet with the NBC Staff Orchestra.
Wow.
And he was a virtuoso guitar player. I mean, absolutely virtuoso. Probably the best pick guitar player that ever lived. Ask any guitar player that's a real guitar player about Johnny Smith.
Yeah.
Barney Kessel? You know what
Barney
Barney Kessel said about it? Barney Kessel said, there may be a lot of guys who play the guitar differently, but nobody plays the guitar better than Johnny Smith. I mean, get yourself some records.
Yeah.
Get one for sure. There's one called Legends.
Legends.
It's a whole bunch of stuff by Johnny Smith, playing dry guitar, not electric, you know, with
Yeah.
a pick. And he's playing heavy-duty stuff,
Yeah.
man. And then there's another whole set of tracks. I would call it side one and side two, you know, but it's a CD. George Van Epps. And that's another guy that played seven-string guitar. You know, seven-string guitar is not new. I mean, George Van Epps was playing it back he's the guy who came up with it back in 1939.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm. Yeah. They tuned the low A.
Low A.
Mhm. So you could always have fifths going.
Oh,
you know. And hearing him play, man, that's a whole other ballgame too. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
How's the other bass working on?
It's feeling really good. Could use some little touch up here and there, you know, like it needs some like intonation work. But other than that, it feels great. I mean, sounds great. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of circuit I put in your bass. This is just a regular, is it a passive circuit? I guess,
Yeah. Yeah, this is also passive.
Probably the same. Probably
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
Very
I think I changed some of the capacitors in this one.
Yeah.
Let me see. This whole one's a shame. Oh, yeah. Just play one note. That's just a pickup selection.
Yeah.
With everything wide open. If you turn the tone down, you go down. You know, and with both of them, just a front pickup. Still got all that.
Yeah. I like that super warm.
If you want to get real
Yeah.
deep, that goes down,
Yeah.
that goes back.
Oh man.
You're
Yeah.
way down, you know. You can do, and that's nothing. It's just passive.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, they put 9,000 knobs on here.
Yeah.
I can't hear anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they spend all night turning knobs.
Get the same sound.
Yeah, you know, it's all cool. And you can get real bright. All kinds of stuff, you know.
Is this the same 36-inch scale?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's like 40, 60, 80, 100, and then a 30 on the top and a 130 on the bottom. Oh It's just going through this little amp.
Yeah.
You know. No, like I said, I still believe that, you know, that the instruments are supposed to play them, you know, I'm not supposed to sit there and play with knobs all night, you know.
Of course.
And these guys who talk about, you know, tone woods and all that, others, they talk about this and that. And then they put like 9,000 pickups on there and a whole bunch of controls and a whammy bar and a whole bunch of other things. You know, what is the point of talking about tone wood? No, nothing. No. But if you're going to talk about that stuff, let's get serious.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you my favorite part of this bass already is this.
Oh, yeah.
It stays exactly in the same place whether you're holding it or not.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean that's
So that was the whole thing in the
That's-
first place.
yeah.
That was it. That was why I made the bass. That was the only reason I made it. I didn't make it to become Carl Thompson or any other bullshit. I just didn't do it for that. I did it because I thought something was wrong. And I still don't think I'm a woodworker. I think I learned to work with wood a little bit, you know. I wasn't a woodworker when I did that. I never had that. I never had those skills. I still don't. Not really. I can do it. You know. Obviously, I can do it. But,
yeah,
but, you know,
you can do
I mean,
it.
you know, the thing is, a guy like Pete or Kelvin, they're real. These guys are woodworkers. I mean, you know. I would probably venture to say, out of the whole group of guys that are here right now, Pete would probably be the only one that could get a job in a wood shop.
Oh, yeah?
And he you know, I would walk in, they would want to test you on how to set up a bandsaw, how to do all this. I can do it. Pete, he nails it.
Right.
If you have any problems with a bandsaw, call Pete. You know, I
Keep that
do.
in mind
Billy,
for our
that's who I call. You know. And he understands all that stuff. And that's cool. It goes back to what my dad said, you know. You think something's in the wrong place, pick it up and move it. And if it's too heavy and you really think it should be moved, get some help.
Huh.
Asking for help, he said, was a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. A sign of weakness is some macho who has a big boulder in front of him and he's trying to pick it up all by himself. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to call Joe and Pete. Let's get this thing out of here, you know. I'm not going to try to show you how, whoa, yo, no way I'm going to do that. You know, the same thing with this, you know. When I first started making them, yeah, I had an idea what I was doing. I kind of hit it and I hacked around. I got the neck and whatever, it worked, you know.
Yeah.
But there were guys who were really good woodworkers, and I said, hey, maybe I should talk to these guys. See how to set up the table saw a little better than what I was doing, you know. Is that square yet? No. Yeah. I don't know. You know. I think, you know, this would be a visit. Is this all going on?
I'm just rolling.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I think people would like to hear stuff like that, you know. You know, I get, you know, people talking to me like I'm some kind of a genius or something, you know, that's not really, yeah, thank you very much, but, you know, the truth is, you gotta do it, you know, and I find people who can help me and I make it work.
But you share what you know,
Yeah, of course.
and that's a rare thing.
It's like my mother told me, I told you that, that's already on, we did a whole thing on that one time. But that's true. She was right, you know. I had a good background, you know, with my mother and dad, and my sisters and my brothers. And my brother, man, I miss him. Billy Ray. He knew I liked Batman, so he told me I'll do a Batman for you, you know. There it is. In ink, too. No pencils, no, none. That's all, like, just like, okay, you want a Batman? Okay. You know,
That's great.
like a lot of guys who do stuff like that, they do a pencil, then they go over it, you know.
Right, yeah.
That's all, that's just like.
Straight freehand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
But he used to sit and he practiced a whole different way. He never went to school for any of this stuff. He would, what do they call it when they do that real fancy type calligraphy? Or
Calligraphy, yeah.
Calligraphy?
Yeah, calligraphy. Yeah. He would sit there and, you know, just on a plain piece of paper, no lines, because he wanted to see if he could, you know, keep everything even.
Right.
He would write the whole alphabet and that kind of stuff, you know, and it would be like you could measure, you could see everything's like in the same place, and then he would do it like a little smaller, or maybe a little larger, you know.
Okay.
And this was like him practicing scales,
yeah.
you know.
Come here one
His
second.
art.
That was his way of practicing like scales.
right.
It's the same thing. You practice this and then you play the song. You know, that's the way he looked at it.
Yeah,
He would do
yeah,
all
yeah.
these things. He'd sit there and, you know, he'd say, Bill, and he'd say, wow, he was just insane. And then he'd do, oh, Batman, yeah, okay. And I've seen him do charcoal sketches. He did a lot of that sketches of people, you know. And very rarely looks at the paper.
Wow.
It was mostly looking at
Look
it.
at-
It was like this. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
A little bit. Oh, yeah. Okay, no glasses. And he's looking at you. Every once in a while he looked down, but for the most part, you know, very natural. He's a nice man. I miss him.
Did he earn a living doing that? Did he earn a living doing that?
No, he was a machinist.
A machinist.
He was a machinist. When he was a kid, he worked in the local brickyard there back in Pitcairn. And then, like my other brothers, they all machinists. You know, that's what I was supposed to be doing. They thought. But,
You got some of that in your blood.
oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I say. I mean, somewhere along the line, I must have had something. I mean, I was around it all my life. You know, my dad was doing things all the time, and my brothers were all like that. So it was there. It's just. I was more interested in actually learning how to play. You know.
Right.
We're going to do a serious video pretty soon about my dad and things he did and serious things he did. You know, a lot of people don't even have a clue as to what kind of stuff that guy did. Yeah, that electric guitar that he made back in 1934. Even Les Paul, when he saw it, Les Paul told me, he says, your dad could have been one of the first guys to make an electric guitar, Carl, you know. And he made pickups for them, and I have recordings.
He made the pickups?
Huh?
He made the pickups.
Well, he made pickups long before he made the guitar. He made pickups for people who played mandolins and all kinds of stuff. He just did he had his own way of doing it.
Huh.
My mother said she used to complain when they used to live up in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, when they were younger. And my dad she'd come home and my dad would be down there, you know, making pickups. And I forget what he used to use to seal the coil, but whatever it was, he had to bake it in the oven a little bit, you know. So my mother would come in and she'd say, oh, Jim, are you doing that? You know, just smell it the whole house. You know, I don't know what it was he used, but, you know.
Now, you didn't live in Johnstown, did you?
No.
Famous place.
Oh, yeah, sure, big time. Yeah. They were there for some of that stuff, too. And,
Well-
the floods, 1936, Johnstown flood.
That was the big one with the dam that broke?
Well, that
That-
was pretty big, but there was one bigger than that. That was back in
Earlier, yeah.
earlier. That 1936 was big enough, as far as I could tell from what they told me. You know. Yeah, but they, in fact, my sister found a letter recently. I have it. 1927. My dad wrote my mother a letter when he was looking for work. You know, to 1927, things were tough.
Yeah.
They're always tough, but they were really tough then. And he had heard about something down in Pitcairn, which is where that's where I'm from.
Right.
We grew up there. But him and another guy, they ventured down from Johnstown. They took the train down to Pitcairn, and they were looking for work, you know. And they're trying to find a way to, you know, take care of the family and all, you know.
Sure.
I think at that time, 1927, my Sonny would have been around. Yeah, Sonny would. I think it would have been like maybe my brothers.
Can I give you a call back?
My brother Sonny and my sister Wanda, maybe the two kids. Maybe that's all they had at that time. I'm not sure.